Super Shredder is real and like not a meme card in Timeless. Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless. This has been my new favorite deck to play lately. This got a 7-0 at the metagame challenge, and I'm conceptually like in love with this deck. This is a Dark Ritual Lurrus aggro deck. Dark Ritual seems excessive when your curve stops at 2, but the ideal turn 1 is like basic swamp, Dark Ritual, throw out a Moon Shadow and a Super Shredder, then throw out like a Bauble, immediately grow both of those. Turn after, you're going to throw out like a Strip Mine, blow up your opponent's land, grow your Moon Shadow by 1, grow your Super Shredder by 2. This deck has some really fun, really explosive draws, and you get to play Daze to back it up. This deck gets to abuse the two most broken blue cards in the format without actually playing blue. So Daze and Treasure Cruise are the only two blue cards in the deck. Despite us being able to play more blue cards, we're pretty free to do it if we wanted to play sideboard cards. But really, we're on that mono black aggro plan, and we're just splashing for these really, really powerful effects. Daze we're going to cast for free pretty much every time. Treasure Cruise, we're going to spend one whole mana to draw 3 cards. This deck is really, really efficient at filling its graveyard. It fills its graveyards even faster than those Hydroponics Architects Strip Mine decks with all of those cantrips, just because you're playing Bauble and because you're vomiting your hand so fast and you're trading with your opponent so frequently. So Treasure Cruise is almost always going to cost 1 mana and gas you back up. It's really cool. You get to play a lot of cards that are really strong into the meta right now. Obviously, Nethergoyf, Moonshadow, and Super Shredder. These are just beaters. But you also get to play 4 copies of Orcish Bowmaster, so you could turbo this out if you want. This is an incredible card of the meta. We're in a blue meta. Everyone's trying to cast Treasure Cruise. Very, very punishing card. Dauthi Voidwalker, I think this is also an incredibly punishing card. Treasure Cruise, that's the one that it hits. It hits all graveyards just kind of passively, and it's also unblockable. There's a lot of text on this card that makes it very, very annoying for a lot of decks to play against, and people kind of have to remove it in order to play Magic normally. So hopefully it eats some removal spells and allows your Super Shredder to keep getting in. Also playing 4 Thoughtseize, which combos well with your Dauthi Voidwalker, since with the Dauthi in play, if you Thoughtseize, you can just steal anything out of your opponent's hand, including an Emrakul, which is really, really sweet. Not that I've stolen an Emrakul yet. I've stolen a Treasure Cruise, I've stolen an Atraxa, I haven't gotten the coveted steal an Emrakul, cast it, take an extra turn. That would be sweet. 4 Fatal Push as well, and you get to switch in your interaction. Sideboard pretty much has every good black card in the format, right? Bloodchief's Thirst if you want more removal, Inquisition of Kozilek if you want more discard, Surgicals if you need it. I love this card, personally. A lot of decks have trouble interacting with this. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. You don't care about your life total very much in this deck unless you're against Energy, which I think is your worst matchup by a lot. So if you play this against like blue tempo, they are pretty obliged to remove it, which again allows your other threats to stay in play longer. But even when it gets removed, they probably used a non-creature spell to do that, so they lost 2 life. It kind of has like ward 2 life, just like Hexing Squelcher does, except it has even more of an effect where if they have the cantrip into their removal, they're going to lose 2 life again and again and again. I think it's pretty strong. Then we have some miscellaneous removal spells. There is Path of Peril in this deck because I do think Energy is quite a bad matchup to the point where you might need a board wipe. However, putting a board wipe in your Dark Ritual aggro deck is pretty chopped, in my opinion. Like, this is extremely chopped. So I'd love suggestions on like how to remediate the Energy matchup. If anybody has any ideas on how to go about doing that. Maybe there's some secret black technology that says if your opponent plays Guide of Souls, they explode. I don't know. Snuff Out is a cool card too. Snuff Out is the kind of card that you maybe could play a copy or 2 against Energy, because it's cool to be able to blow up their Guide of Souls without losing tempo. Realistically, this is for the blue tempo decks though, so this is so you can remove your Hydroponics Architect, their Hydroponics Architect, without having to spend mana, and you could also remove it around Daze really easily, because this is always going to be free. Other than that, like the deck instruction is very straightforward. We talked about it on the podcast recently. If you do want a bit more insight into how this deck works, you can check out the episode 12, I believe it is, of the podcast, where we went over some of the really cool decks that got 7-0s at the last metagame challenge. But this isn't the podcast, this is the gameplay video, so let's go ahead and play some games. Super Shredder on the play! And we got the Super Shredder in our hand. Awesome. So, Thoughtseize into Shredder. That's a great opener. I might want to fetch Watery Grave just in case I need to emergency daze something, but I can't imagine wanting to daze something before I get a threat into play. I would definitely want to hit my 2nd mana. My opponent seems to be mulliganing quite a bit for a Lurrus deck. Mulliganing heavy like that usually implies a combo deck, but Lurrus implies not combo, so maybe just bad beats for them. Alright, let's play the Thoughtseize and rip their hand apart. I will give myself the option to daze off of a Watery Grave, because they might have a really weak 5-card keep that we can just daze off of being able to do anything. Ah, the classic, the Johnny Pride daze. So they can daze me. It's daze energy. What card do I want to allow them to have? We could, of course, daze back. I could just take their daze. I could also just play around daze, which would be pretty neat. So I think I will take their Ajani, and then we could beat the little kitty cat. It's going to take Ajani here. They will get to play Ocelot Pride on the first turn and attack with it. And if they fetch blue-white here, then we will judiciously play around daze. Okay, yep, that is blue-white. You got it, your cat resolves. So here, we're just gonna... I think we're just gonna pass, which feels bad from a tempo perspective. But I don't want to bounce a land to my hand. Could also just... It could have just traded dazes, I guess. Maybe I was being way too cautious there. 2 prides is kind of scary, as they could snowball. I'm gonna go ahead and play my Super Shredder here and be able to block them. Oh, and a Fatal Push. That's pretty good. Alright. Super Shredder! They can daze this to be clever and make me crack the mire. And I am pretty interested in Fatal Pushing. I think here, actually, maybe we can force them to daze me back. See if we could bait them into dazing me back. I have to pay life here. Oof. I think it's worth it. Let's get one of your kitty cats off the board, because that's a snowbally card. It also grows my Super Shredder! You're gonna daze me? Permanent leaves the battlefield due to daze. Grows Super Shredder. I would like to also daze your daze. Grow my Super Shredder. Okay, I don't know if this is the optimal line, but this is actually, like, the line that you want to have in game 1 of the YouTube video, so I could say, look at the 6/6 Super Shredder! Oh, what a cool card. Alright, opponent fetches here. Hopefully they didn't hit like a Johnny or something really scary. I'll slam my desk if they hit a Johnny. If they hit a Johnny, can I just let them flip it? Alright, Amp Raptor comes through, sure. Swords, no! My Super Shredder! Alright, this is unfortunate, because Doubt the Voidwalker, maybe not the best against energy, because it can't really block. Also, we did just establish energy was a bad matchup in the deck tech, so... I wonder how different this game would have been if I had aggressively, like, traded dazes very early on. Would it have been better for me? I could have gotten, like, the Voidwalker into play early, for example. Okay, we can play our Luris here, maybe daze their Luris? We don't have anything to replay off of Luris, which is a little sad. Let's see what my opponent's up to here. Hopefully they don't play a land drop before playing Luris. Oh, they will. Oh, well. So we cannot daze them off of Luris. Sad. Sad day. We can block the cat, though. Do have City's Blessing here. I might just daze them anyway to keep the cat from hitting play, because they do have City's Blessing. I guess I daze this, right? Daze is never going to be turned on otherwise. And I really need a removal spell for Luris right this moment. And we don't get it, so I don't think we can win this Luris Mirror when they can buy back like a Johnny and an Ocelot Pride every turn. So go ahead and pack it up. Against energy, specifically. This is a tough matchup because I'm tempted to bring in like Path of Perils, which is a bit antithetical to the idea of playing aggro. I think Thoughtseize and Doubthy Voidwalkers are kind of like the bad cards in the matchup, so we got to figure out the rest, right? We could bring in all of this removal, and then we still have 2 deck slots. Do we want to play something like Mai? I think Mai could be pretty cool. Maybe like 1 Mai, 1 Snuff Out. We don't want to play too many Snuff Outs against an energy variant, because they are really attacking our life total, but 1 Snuff Out is probably fine. Alright, game 2, we're going to be on the play here, and we got a Moon Shadow on the play backed up by Daze, so hopefully the deck gets to do the thing here. We're going to start with double Moon Shadow, because we can trigger both of them off of this fetch land here. Path of Peril, very awkward in my opener full of 1-drops, but surely we'll figure it out. Oh my. Maybe we just don't want Path of Perils when we're on the play, and it's a play-draw kind of sideboarding action. They cannot daze back here. I think we will... We can just block that so easily. I think the little kitty cat can just resolve. Oh, we can also just Fatal Push it here, so that's pretty convenient. Play Moonshadow, crack this. Let's go ahead, grab a basic, Fatal Push the kitty cat, and get attacking. And then if they play an impactful 2-drop like a Johnny or Amp Traptor, we're going to go ahead and daze here. Where's the Plowshares will get to resolve though. Ooh, double daze. Can't quite cast both of them. We can if we hard cast the first one, actually. But I'd rather get my other threat out. So we'll play our Goyf. If they go for like Swords End Step here, I will daze it. Opponent might just decide to play around daze for the rest of the game, which would be a little infuriating. Because I did like really think about whether or not I want to counter Ocelot Pride, which very clearly telegraphed that I am holding free counter magic of some sort. Probably daze, considering I have a low blue count and they could probably tell. Also, this deck has been like a little trendy lately, so they probably know about it. Alright, Mockingbird coming through. Copying up maybe my Moonshadow. That's a flying Moonshadow, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of scary. Oh no. Oh, and I can't even daze that? It's so over. Super Shredder. Alright, we're gonna put the Strip Mine in the bag. By which I mean put Luris into my hand. Because this may be a Path of Peril game. I might let Energy just play another creature or two and then wipe the board. We'll see how it goes. Yep, that's a growing Moonshadow right there. Alright, Voice of Victory. Yep. Turns my days off. Yep. This might be a Path of Peril line coming up. I think this is a Path of Peril turn this turn. I think we just fire off Path. Shame that we have both of these dazes that are really dead here. Kind of shows part of why Energy is a bad matchup. It's not just the fact that they're able to go wider than you. It's the fact that they have a lot of cheap creatures and thus can naturally play around Daze. And if you're playing this longer game where you have to like Path of Peril their board to catch back up, Daze is now turned off. When you are playing Daze in an aggro deck like this, you need to be setting the tempo, you need to be putting the pressure on, you need to be the one attacking with your 1-drops and keeping the mana as tight as possible. And that's not what's happening here. I just put the bombardment in the bag. Just put it in the bag. Just play it into the Daze, man. Please. 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 Pretty please. Just play it into the Daze. I don't have it. Yeah. Oh, I got the Daze. Okay. This is a winnable video game. Everybody calm down. I can just Luris and double bobble this turn. That's probably better than playing Bowmasters. So play bobble. Let's see their top card before we commit, right? It's just a land? Okay, yeah, we'll play Luris and bobble. We can win a long game here. And then I want to see the card under this. So I'll bobble during their turn. I want to see the next card they're drawing too. Lures to hand, so they will be able to get back more Johnnies and Legend roll them pretty soon. I also drew my other Path of Peril, which is really funny. Daze? Okay, that's a useless card. Pretty useless. I can play around it quite easily. Alright. Super Shredder. I think it's Super Shredder, buyback bobble kind of angle. Or is it like a Path to Peril in a turn or two angle? Because I can just keep buying back Bauble and then cast Path to Peril. They are going to have to Daze, but we could Daze back. But they're not going to be tapped out unless they do, like, Luris flip a Johnny. If they do a Luris flip a Johnny angle, that's pretty horrible. That's actually catastrophically horrible. It's about as bad as it gets, in fact, so we probably need to cut them off of mana. There's a lot of things to think about this turn. I think it's play Super Shredder. Cut them off of mana so that they cannot immediately flip a Johnny with Luris. We can cut them off of red here. Lots of counters for Super Shredder. And then I get to draw a card here. And I want to wait to see what their next card is. Alright, there is Luris. They could just daze me back here, so I don't think I'm going to daze whatever one drop they play. Yeah, they're just going to play the stupid kitty cat, but I think the stupid kitty cat has to resolve. What's your top? In case it's relevant. Show me your top, please. It's just a land. Does that affect my dazing decision? Annoying. I do want to daze this. I do really want to daze this. But they bounce a land, I bounce a land. No, it just doesn't work out for me ever. That happens. Let's see, I may very much want to cast Path. If I drew mana, I would cast Path. What's cool here is now I can cast Snuff Out. I can cast Snuff Out now. Alright, what do we want to do? Man, 1,000,000 decision points again. I could Snuff Out Luris right now. If they flip a Johnny, I can then ping their cat, attack a Johnny with Super Shredder, and then probably win the game. I pay 4 life. Oh, non-black creature. Alright, good one. Oh man, you can't snuff out a Luris. What a world we live in. Oh no, wait, I have decisions. I have so many decisions to make, guys. Come on. Alright. What's my next card that I'm drawing? Grow my Super Shredder. A land, but a tapped one. Alright, let me hit with the Super Shredder. And then next turn, we are going to snuff out. Maybe this turn we have to snuff out a Johnny. I want to see how they block. I want to see if I can make them a sucker here and, like, snuff out the Ajani. There's a couple ways that I could cast in combat here. We could use Bowmasters. Let's go ahead and Bowmasters here. We're going to trade Dazes. Bowmasters. Hits your Pride? I should have snuffed first, actually. Right. First, I shall snuff out your Ajani. Second, I shall daze you back. Daze your daze. This is 1 point off lethal, by the way. It was just crazy. Crazy to suggest that we're 1 point off of lethal. Oh! Almost got there. That's crazy, actually. Oh, and I can play this immediately. Alright, that's good. I can't do anything with the mana. So is this winnable? This is a winnable game? My opponent has a spell. GG? Winnable? One game? Oh my god, I won this game. That was a cool one. Alright, Super Shredder. Proving its worth. Snuff Out can't hit Luris. Fun fact, you can play against the Jeskai deck and get blanked on your Snuff Out. I think this configuration is fine. Maybe I want 2 Snuff Outs. Like, it's kind of necessary. Against energy. No. We'll keep it. We'll keep the deck as is. Alright, game 3 against energy. Let's try the aggro hand. We're going to be able to play a Moonshadow and a Bowmasters on turn 1. Let's do it, right? Guide of Souls. What we could do is we could also like wait until turn 2 to go crazy with Dark Ritual. And just like Fatal Push Guide of Souls this turn. So I would like a creature to hit with my Bowmasters. Let's do that. By Fatal Push, I do mean Bloodchief's Thirst, of course. And then next turn, we go Dark Ritual, Moonshadow, Bowmasters, Strip Mine. Hopefully have a crazy, crazy turn. I'm hoping they give me something to remove with the Bowmasters, but if not, I won't like sandbag anymore. Ampdropter? Yep, that's a target. Hit a removal spell, please, sir. Kitty Cat, that's another target. Ooh, 2 Bowmasters. Waiter, waiter, another Bowmasters, please. Do I want my Moonshadow down early? I think I do want my Moonshadow down early, though. So we're going to do Moonshadow. Bowmasters, hits the cat. And then I'm going to Strip Mine them off their white source. Should have played Strip Mine first, actually. Should have put that in play to play around Daze. My bad. I'm not paying attention. Well, I'm focused on yapping. This is good. We're going to get to grow our Moonshadow at least a little bit next turn. We're going to be able to Bowmaster at least 1 blocker next turn. Moonshadow eats a removal spell. Understandable. Have a nice day. But unfortunately for my opponent, we do have double Bowmasters on this draw. So hopefully we can start out-tempoing our opponent. We have another removal spell. We have the ability to summon Lurrus. This is looking pretty decent. Guide of Souls just don't have an immediate cat to back up the Guide of Souls. Thank you. All right, let's Fatal Push Surveil here. All right, GG's called. Nice, cool. So we beat our bad matchup despite having a really tough game 1. All right, game 2. We're going to be on the draw here. We got a Moonshadow that we can grow immediately, plus some Douthies. Seems pretty good. Seems very good against blue. Love having Bowmasters and Douthies against blue. We're up against Sneak and Shibo specifically, though. This can get forced, can get dazed. They are a forceful deck. Usually not a dazed deck. I don't think a turn 1 Moonshadow is really worth forcing, though. And my opponent does agree. That's Omniscience. They're an Ancient Tomb deck, so they could just have to win this turn. Really, we're going to be looking to lean on discard and cards like Mai in order to win this game. But it's mostly in our sideboard. Game 1 might be a little bit of an uphill battle before we're able to add in all of our anti-combo cards. I wonder if Voidwalker really has relevant text against them. I don't think so. I think I'd much rather be playing a Bowmaster. Having a Twaxa on top of their deck. Let's go ahead and fetch here. We only have 2 basics, so we have to shock in here. Not that our life total really matters against Sneak and Show. I'm going to play the Bowmasters now, actually, because if it gets forced, this will grow my Moonshadow. And my opponent's getting priority clauses, so I'd like to think that they have a force. They've show and tell here. It's going to cost them a little bit of life. And we will... I mean, we do just die if they have show and tell, because it's show and tell into Atraxa. Surely that finds a way to win the video game. Vexing Bauble to hit our free permission. Understandable. Show and tell. Yeah, no, we just lose. We'll throw Voidwalker into play in case it's relevant. Oh, they go for just put Emrakul into play? Instead of cast Omni and do that? Alright, that's a mistake. However, I don't think I could punish this mistake. I'm just trying to think, do I have anything in my deck that possibly punishes the mistake? Nothing exiled with silver counter other than show and tell. Surveil to put another permanent into my graveyard here. Lethal question mark? Alright, well, my opponent misplayed there. I got gifted that game on a silver platter. Really, they should have just put Omni into play, cast the Emrakul, taking an extra turn. Oh, right, they have Bobble? They have Bobble, however, this can't be countered. So the Bobble doesn't matter. You put Omni into play, you cast Emrakul, you take the extra turn. Maybe they were playing around their own Bobble? Like, I thought for a second, oh, surely it's because of Bobble that they did that. No, the spell cannot be countered. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know sometimes with the arena gamers. Fiddle push out. You know, sometimes I say someone's an arena gamer, and then I get, like, YouTube comments will point out, oh, mister, there was a Chalice avoided in play. Of course they did that. And I'm like, right, of course. Alright, let's play our Mize. Mai is a cool card. I want to play her in this matchup. We want all of our discard spells as well. What's our worst card? Probably just Goyf. Probably just Goyf. And then we run it back like this. Could think about Surgical. Don't think it's worth Surgicaling because they have like multiple ways to win. Surgical is really just for graveyard combo, but even if you did want to try to take the angle of, oh, I want to remove their combo cards, they have two sides of each combo, right? They have both Show and Tell and Sneak Attack, and then they have both Omni and the big creatures. So even if you Surgical part of it, their deck still functions. Alright, this is just a Moonshadow aggro hand. It doesn't have any sideboard cards. Going second, I think I want to see one sideboard card, so I'm going to mulligan once. Despite this being a pretty decent aggro hand. I mean, it's a good aggro hand. We're going to make this Moonshadow a 7/7. Let's keep it. Let's have Bobble to draw through our deck a little bit. We could do the Bobble trick on a later turn. Let's just play the Moonshadow here. I actually should have led with Watery Grave. That's okay. We'll play Moonshadow. This might just get like Dazed or Forest. It doesn't. I'm gonna wait one turn to Bobble because I might want to like do the Bobble trick if I have a card I don't like on top of my deck. Because I really do want to try to find a sideboard card. So I'll Bubble myself. If I see any non-sideboard card on top, I'll shuffle. If I see a sideboard card, I'll just play like Watery Grave, or I'll fetch on their turn, play the Bowmasters on their turn. Alright, Chromox coming through. They could just have like the Show and Tell win early, which is why I wanted to mulligan for a sideboard card. Because the discard spell would prevent this nonsense. Also, there's arguments to me just Bobble last turn, because that gets me one card deeper, even though I get one more look. Okey-dokey. Let's start with the Bobble trick. Bobble myself. I do not, in fact, want that card, so let's just go ahead, shuffle here. And then I have the choice, double Goy for Bowmasters. I think we're just trying to kill our opponent. I only have two card types in the graveyard, though, and that's not going to change. So Bowmasters is probably a quicker kill. Again, I'll play at Sorcery Speed in case it gets forced. It just grows my Moonshadow a little bit. This is technically a faster clock with 4 power immediately, but shutting off card draw is very, very good. Sneak attack is here, so my opponent might be winning next turn. Ooh, they may be winning all right. Let's go ahead and play out our glyphs. And then just in case their sneak target is Emrakul, I'm not going to play a fetch. I'm going to stay at 16 life, and I'm going to cross my fingers. If they sneak Emrakul in, we can grow our Moonshadow to 7/7 and just kill him. If they sneak Atraxa or something, we probably lose because they get to draw 10 cards. Stock up gaming. Alright, they don't have it. And pays 2. Probably so they could sneak in 2 things and murder me, though. Yeah, there's Atraxa. Atraxa is hopefully going to hit them more gas. Yeah, they hit Emrakul, so that is game, unfortunately. Alright, this time we're going to be on the play. Hopefully we can draw either our Dazes or our discard spells. We have 10 very impactful spells in this matchup, and otherwise we're just looking to aggro them out, which we should be able to do on the play. Alright, on the play. We got a Dark Ritual Thoughtseize Voidwalker hand. Yes, 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 yes. Wait, this is gas. They have Emrakul in their deck. Wait. This is the best hand ever. Yo, check this out. Check this out. Dark Ritual. Voidwalker. Thoughtseize, please have an Emrakul in your hand. It would be so funny. Please, 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 please. Yes! Oh, baby! And we get to steal it next turn. Oh, that's so good. Screenshot. Oh, they scoop! Hey, give me the cool emoji and get the hell out of here. Alright, we're on the play against literally Dank. What we got here? We have Daze on the play. We do not have a single threat to back that up. That's fine. We got all the interaction, we got a Treasure Cruise to gas up. I think I'm gonna call this hand fine and keepable. See exactly what Luris variant they're on. A lot of different Luris variants running around. Hopefully it's that energy again. Okay, Ruby Storm. I'm glad I kept my Thoughtseize hand. We're just gonna take the Ruby Medallion. We do really need Split Mine gonna get named. Could have also planned on maybe dazing the Ruby Medallion. That would have been a little sus. We did draw our threat, so let's play Super Shredder. And we're gonna daze like pretty much anything that's dazeable, including the bottle. This is just to trigger Super Shredder and use a otherwise useless card in our hand. Because if we let that resolve, Daze becomes a really bad 2-mana counterspell. Alright, cool. Let's just play the Dark Ritual just to put cards in our graveyard. And what, that's 4 cards in our graveyard. 7, yeah, we could Treasure Cruise here. That's good. We don't get to grow our Shredder. That's okay. I think we're pretty firmly in control of this game. My opponent resolves like a Ral or whatever, we could just Fatal Push it. Like, this is fine. Stwip Mine coming through. Unfortunately, my opponent has turned off Stwip Mines for the foreseeable future. So let's just go ahead and Surveil here at Sorcery Speed, grow our Super Shredder. Do I want Dark Ritual on top? Nah, it doesn't really do anything at this point in the game. Player Douthie. That turns off their graveyard. Douthie, this is another deck that just, like, Douthie has really good passive text against. Turning off their graveyard turns off Storm Memories, which is, like, one of their main lines that they use to win the game. And yeah, my opponent is looking at pretty much a 2-turn clock. It's not literally a 2-turn clock, but between this growing and Ancient Tomb, it will be. And yeah, they just scoop it up. A little unfortunate for them. Our sideboards are real beating. It's going to be the same sideboarding as Sneak and Show, where we want the extra discard, we want the mice. But it's just going to be extra brutal, because like Mai is not a beatable card, in my opinion, for them. We also do want to keep the Fatal Pushes in, because those are like quite good against like Ral. So we will just cut all of the little Goyfs. They don't draw too many cards, right? They have Manamorphose in their deck to draw cards. Is Bowmaster is a better threat than Goyf because of Manamorphose? I actually don't think so. I think I'd rather just have the 1-drop density. What does scare me is Mono Red can be a Chalice deck, and if this guy's on Petrified Amulet technology, then maybe he's also on Chalice technology. Because they don't play 1-drops other than like Vexing Bauble, so they can totally sideboard into Chalice. Okay, I'm scared of Chalice. Let's play Bowmasters. Alright. Really mid-hand. I'm gonna send this back as an awkward 1-lander and no sideboard cards. I see 2 discard spells. Should be pretty easy to punch a hole in them unless they went like turn 1 Ancient Tomb into Ruby Medallion. That would have been really annoying. Let's play Inquisition here. Looking to take their cost reducer. So we're gonna take Ral here. They do have Fragment Reality to remove my Mai, which is annoying. I think we just take Ral, and the next turn with Thoughtseize, I might just take the Fragment to protect this card, because this card is so good. Realistically, she does get turned into like a Moonshadow, though, which is pretty neat. So this is not like super efficient removal for them. It's like lose 2 life and then Mai becomes a Moonshadow, which is something that hits like harder. Ooh, Voidwalker. Okay. Yeah, let's play Mai first. We're gonna allow it to get fragmented so that next turn we can do Voidwalker Thoughtseize. That seems pretty good to me. I offer this card up to the Fragment Reality Gods. And doing nothing is also really bad into Jeska's Will. It allows them to get more mana, so we want to like play our cards and just like empty our hand, even if we're playing into removal spells. Alright, -2, and give me a Moonshadow, please. Thank you. Morpho's coming through. Pretty much just cycling it. I don't think they try to go off this turn. Heretic, I mean, yeah, they're going to try to do something. What are you going to try to do? Jeska's? Okay, yeah, that's why I wanted to get my hand empty. And then Storm? Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So they might not go all the way off, but they at least get to clear my board. Okay, Jeska's, they can add mana or they could draw cards. They're adding 4 first. Hit Morphos here, that's up to 6 mana. Draw a card. They could just like summon and play Laris here. That would be a defensible play. And then last is going to get them even more mana. So they didn't get the card draw. I wonder if play Laris is just the line. It probably is. And they get Ral? Jackpot. Alright.
Another day, another job.
They could flip Ral here and they win the game if they do. Alright, that was a little coin flip from them. 50-50 on flipping him. I would have taken the same odds. Here I want to do Dathi Voidwalker. Kill their Laris. I'd rather kill Ral, of course, but they're just going to rebuy it. Actually, they can't rebuy it. Yeah, that's a good question. They can't rebuy it because of Voidwalker, so I think I have to kill Ral. Even though Laris is a very annoying card to play against. They don't have anything to buy back with it. Ral's exiled. It's an annoying lifelinker, which means I can't, like, really aggro them down. Yep, Brim's Resolve, sure. Oh, those are 2 good cards. 2 good cards. 2 good card alert. Alright, if they draw card advantage, they are in a good state. I can't Thoughtseize that. Surveil here. I mean, I really should surveil on their end step, but whatever. Who cares? Thoughtseize, again, useless. We're at this point in the game. I could at any point, like, crack my Voidwalker to steal one of their cards that's exiled with it, which would be Ral or Brim's Resolve right now. Not too many crazy options. They're going to Seething Song, but they hit. Or Exile Draw. Yeah, Impulse. Oh boy. Oh boy. They could try to flip Ral here with the Fragment.
One day, I'll get out of this miserable district.
They do get to flip Ral. Probably should, even though he doesn't go straight to the 8 loyalty you need. So they could just like plus him or minus him. Kill my Moonshadow. Moonshadow would just get bought right back by Laris, though.
Lightning always strikes twice.
Alright, cool. Let's play my own Laris, replay my Moonshadow. We're gonna house here. So they can kill my Laris with Ral, which is unfortunate. You can also draw a lot of cards. No. Bubble's just gonna resolve, unfortunately. Like, there's not much I could do about it. I could, like, pick up my Undercity Sewers with Daze, but I don't see much point to that.
Help me check the voltage.
We do get to at least kill this Ral through combat damage here. But we're also getting beat down by Alaris, which is kind of funny. Okay, they're going to choose to be in blocking mode. Understandable. Alright, Treasure Cruise off the top, please. Dealer. Moonshadow. Okay. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? What are we doing, gamers? We can attack and clear the Laris off the board. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. And that would grow my other Moonshadow by a little bit. Let's try that. Attack here. They do lose the Ral. Okay.
So close to a better life.
They do have the ability to attack with Laris and gain some life here, though. You can also just, like, cycle their Bauble, try to draw a card. It's also just aggro me out, which is really funny. I'm at 4. Okay, Pivot Ancient Tomb, cycle that. You can also just replay it and cycle it again, which is funny. Yeah, that resolves. If they go too low on mana, I can try to daze them. Wish! Alright, he really needs a wish right now. Hopefully I can daze the wish target. Alright, we have been grape shot for not lethal. We are one short. Okay. Very much a grape shot for not lethal moment. I don't think I'm really winning from here, though. Botsies again. Nope. That one's not it. Alright, then again, they get to keep just drawing 2 cards a turn with their bobble. Yep, just keep cycling it, drawing. They draw like kind of anything that can kill me, anything that flashes back the graveyard, anything that just does damage. Okay, bobble. Throw it away. Technically goes by Moon Shadow. And then we pass. I don't think we have much of an angle unless we can, I don't know, get in a position where we can knock them down to 0 in one hit with a Moon Shadow. I think this is a game that we've lost. I mean, we can try Treasure Cruise, right? Treasure Cruise is the gamer card. I'm just going to pass priority here. I don't think that they are going to go all the way down on mana at this point. Jeska's Will, yeah. So the top 3 more mana, another Jeska's Will. They can kill me with a ham sandwich at this point, but the ham sandwich does actually have to show up. The ham sandwich is actually flipped Ral. I forgot about that. This is a Ral lethal. Ral -2 lethal. How many times have you guys seen that? I totally forgot that they had that lethal in their deck. Alright, lightning does always strike twice. We're going to be going first, which is very nice. We could even do Snuff Out over Fatal Push to hit the Rouse. Snuff Out doesn't hit Luris, though. Classic. I like it like this. I think we run it back. Sure, that's a really good aggro start. We just play turn 1 Moonshadow and Voidwalker, backed up by a Daze. Pretty happy with that. We do need to draw a little bit more gas to back it up, but this should be good. Gas can be like anything, even just a fetch land to grow my Moonshadow. Alright, let's see it. Ooh, bobble. Alright, show me your top, sir. A wish. That's not super relevant information. Draw a card. Drew Thoughtseize, that's a great card. Great card in the matchup. We're going to daze anything that is dazeable, pretty much. Okay, nothing is going to be presented as dazeable. Thoughtseize? Oof. Oh yeah, they got the ability to go off pretty soon. You can take their wish, because otherwise this hand doesn't go anywhere. Obviously, Jeska's Will digs 3 deep. Do either take Jeska's Will or take wish? This is tough. They don't have a cost reducer. So Jeska's Will is their only way to really dig. Wish, Wish, Past in Flames. I'm trying to think about their lines, right? I could take Seething Song and then they can't get that much mana. Yeah, I'll take the Seething Song, actually. And then I'm going to play Bubble. And I'm going to choose not to crack it, to not give an extra card in hand for Jeska's Will. And then, yeah, we'll just get your turn. I'm going to just crack it on your end step. Or crack it right now before I forget. I'll probably crack it next time I get priority like a classic arena gamer. Cracking it a little earlier is not going to meaningfully change my clock. It's a 3-turn clock no matter what. I don't think there's other cards that we could draw to make it a 2-turn clock. I know my opponent has a lot of choices on what exactly they do. They play into Daze. I would not recommend playing into Daze. What's your top card? Just a little more info. Vexing Bobble. Alright, we fire off the Daze then. Trivialize my decisions for me, please. The thing is, they do have so many rituals available to them next turn. It's kind of crazy. Okay, another Moon Shadow. Cool. Do any of these cards help me? No. So I think we're just attacking here. I could Ren's Resolve to try to hit another like sideboard card, but I think that's a little loosey-goose. I think realistically what I do is I just like play Watery Grave, I just shock it in. And I pass the turn, hold up Fatal Push for like a Ral. I do have +1 card in hand for Jeska's Will, if they do want to go for that angle. Opponent's going to cycle here. They have the ability to add mana, but not too much mana if they don't have a cost reducer. And we have Fatal Push to answer half of the cost reducers in their deck. They're going to play Bauble, sure. Pyretic Ritual. Right? And they don't have the Seething Song anymore. Jeska's Will, if they exile cards, they won't have mana, so they're priced into going for mana, and now they only have 2 mana to work with for the Wish. What are they going to do? Are they going to, like, Grape Shot my creatures? That would be annoying. That would be really funny if they just did, like, a Grape Shot to wipe the board. I could rebuild with this Moon Shadow. I wonder what they're getting. They don't have a cost reducer, so it's got to be something that costs 1 or 2, and it has to only be red mana, so Grape Shot is the only, like, reasonable card I could see them having in their sideboard that's playable. They can't grab, like, their Fragment Reality or something. Yeah. Okay. Grape Shot. Let's see how they distribute the copies. Because they're going to try to kill both my creatures. So I have something really cheeky I thought of. Let's see if they distribute this right. Okay, neat. Hold on, I have a response. 1, 2 on Voidwalker. 1, 2, 3 on Shadow. The rest pointed at me. I'm going to Fatal Push my own Voidwalker to grow my Shadow. Shadow lives. You die. That's a fun lethal. Who saw that? Who saw that before I pointed it out? Alright, this deck's a load of fun. We had some really fun lines and really fun interactions. Like, we actually got the Voidwalker Evercool, which was so cool, even if our opponent didn't let us cast it. We got some huge Shredders, some big Moon Shadows. We had that last game where we had the Fatal Push our own thing to grow Moon Shadow line, which was really crazy. This deck is a load of fun. I do recommend crafting it in its current form if you're thinking of trying it. The deck might get refined a little bit, and some of these sideboard cards might get swapped out. Maybe more blue cards will get added into the deck as time goes on. Like, this deck probably wants a few changes. I'm not sure exactly what, if it's going to, like, truly become a meta deck. But if you want to have fun on ladder, like, this deck is a blast. I would definitely recommend crafting it. Let's try to figure out the energy matchup. Let's figure out, do we want to play more blue cards, right? Because it's, like, pretty free if you wanted to play, like, a really good blue card, if you want to play cantrips. I think cantrips is antithetical to the idea of this mono black Dark Ritual Stompy. But maybe you could just play cards like Psychic Frog as well. Maybe you can cut Dark Ritual from the deck. There's a couple of directions that you can take this card. Psychic Frog is, like, just really good with Moon Shadow. Like, it's a free way to just charge it up really fast. Not free. You have to discard cards out of your hand, of course. Nothing is free in this world. But there's a lot of ways to build this deck. I think this deck's awesome. I want to see more people work on it. I want to see more people iterate on it. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've crafted it and if you're having a lot of fun with it. Also, look at this mana curve up here. All 1s and 2s and then a little dot here for Treasure Cruise. This is a 1-drop, though, as we all know. I've never paid more than 1 mana for this card, personally. All right, guys. Have fun with this deck. Let me know how it goes. Bye-bye.